Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Let's talk Wonder Woman 1984.
Citizens of the world,
I'm here to change your life.
anything you want, anything you dream of, you can have it.
You look like you saw a ghost.
And real quick guys, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. This film just came out yesterday on HBO Max and in theaters where theaters are open. So I just want to make this non-spoiler for now, let everyone get a chance to see it so you don't have to worry about any spoilers in this review. So Wonder Woman 1984 is the follow-up sequel to the smash hit Wonder Woman, and it is once again directed by Patty Jenkins, and we see Gal Gadot returning as Wonder Woman, we have Chris Pine returning as Steve Trevor, and then we also have Pedro Pascal coming in as Maxwell Lord, and then we have Kristen Wiig playing Barbara, aka Cheetah. As far as the plot of this film goes, the year is 1984 and Diana Prince has been laying low amongst mankind for the last several decades until a new villain shows up named Maxwell Lord and throws the world into chaos. So very vague, but yeah, again, I don't want to have any spoilers for you guys. So that's the basic idea of this sequel. So first off, I actually want to say I've been seeing this film getting a lot of hate on, especially, like online, social media and stuff like that, which really surprised me. And I was like actually kind of worried going into the film because I was like, oh man, because it seemed like, the first film was pretty much universally loved. So I was really surprised to see a lot of negativity going into this film. So I was like, oh boy, I hope I'm not disappointed. It's definitely different than what I guess I was expecting kind of with the trailers, but in my case, it wasn't in a bad way. We'll start off with the good things that I liked about the film, and then we'll go into the negative aspects. So as far as, things that I liked, I would say as far as Wonder Woman 1984 goes, it's kind of, it's funny. I would say that I probably, comparing it to the first Wonder Woman film, I liked the first two acts better in the first Wonder Woman than I did in 1984. However, with 1984, I would say I probably liked that final third act more than I did the original Wonder Woman. So it's kind of like a mix and match there. But I would say, yeah, overall, probably liked Wonder Woman a little bit more. But the ending for Wonder Woman 84, I thought was better in my opinion. As far as performances go, we'll start off with Gal Gadot. I thought she nailed it again as Wonder Woman. And this time around, she gets a little bit more, some more emotional bits in the film, which I thought was cool just to kind of to see, get a little bit more range from her. And, as always, she's awesome with any of the action scenes that she's in the film. She's always, as far as Wonder Woman goes, she's always pretty much nailed those, up to this point. And it's just been really fun getting to see her kind of grow more into the character. She started off with Batman vs. Superman, and now, up to this point with Wonder Woman 84. So you can definitely see her getting even more comfortable with the role, which I thought from the beginning, she was a really solid choice for the role of Wonder Woman. And I think she does a good job in this film as well. Chris Pine is back again in this film as Steve Trevor, and I won't tell you guys how he comes back because that's a fairly big spoiler with the film. But I think it was fun to see him back. They kind of swapped the roles of the original Wonder Woman film. Diana, she was the one who was kind of the fish out of water, being in, Mankind and stuff for really the first time. So this time it's Steve Trevor, where, last time we had seen him, it was during the war, and now it's 1984. So he kind of is oh, what is all this weird stuff, that's going on. So they kept it fresh by doing that. And it was just, it was fun to see his character back, and just the chemistry between Chris Pine and Gal Gadot, I think, is great, just as it was in the first film. So it was fun to see him come back as well. I also have to say, and I've seen some other people, mention this as well, I really, really liked Pedro Pascal and, in this role as Maxwell Lord. And I really like how, you could understand how him and then Kristen Wiig as Barbara, how they end up on the path that they end up going down. At least in my opinion, you can totally believe, the different things that happened in their life to kind of lead them to that point. So I thought, that was really cool. But Pedro Pascal, he's quickly becoming, probably one of my favorite actors in Hollywood right now too, obviously with The Mandalorian. But with this role, I think that he really just, chewed up the scenery. At times he was maybe a little eccentric, but I thought for this role, it worked because the film kind of has some times where it's a little cheesy and stuff like that. So I really liked his character, and just that it was a little bit different than like your typical like super villain, where it's not just like this guy that's like this super powered villain and he's going to be fighting Wonder Woman. No, there's like a completely different aspect to his character, and so I thought that was something that was a little fresh than just, like I said, your typical, super villain in like these kind of movies. I also really liked Kristen Wiig as Barbara, aka Cheetah. So it's cool in the film. We kind of get to see the evolution of her turning into Cheetah. At one point, it's Barbara. She's kind of this girl that's not really like confident in herself and stuff like that, and she's friends with Diana. And then, we kind of see her later on in the film, and she's a lot more confident and stuff like that. And then finally you get to see, her full like transformation into the character of Cheetah. So I thought that was cool. The only thing with her character I would say that I was slightly disappointed by was that I felt like her character was maybe a little underutilized. They probably could have fleshed her out like maybe a little bit more, but from what we did get, I enjoyed, and I would like to see her come back at some point. I don't know if they'll do that, but that's something that I would be open to. The CGI with the character of Cheetah, for the most part, I thought it was good. There was definitely some parts that were questionable. By no means was it like, oh my god, the CGI was amazing or anything like that. But I thought it was good. I mean, they had it at night, so it was kind of hard to tell with the one fight. But for the most part, it was acceptable. It wasn't anything that I was like, oh man, the CGI is like god awful. And as far as, negatives, we'll go ahead and get into those now. So as far as the negatives go, there was some, like I kind of mentioned it briefly just a second ago, but there was some aspects to the film that were like a little cheesy, especially not like the direct like opening, but once we actually see Diana like grown up, and she's in like this mall sequence. That aspect was a little cheesy to me. It wasn't something that completely took me out of the movie, but it just felt like a little weird compared to some other parts of the movie. And there is several other scenes that kind of, it comes back a little bit. So there were some parts that were a little cheesy, and I just felt compared to like the first film that like it didn't really have that with the original Wonder Woman. I would also say too, this movie, it comes in about like, I think it's like 2.5 hours. I think it maybe was just like a little bit too long. I don't know if they could have got it down to like, the 2-hour mark, like somewhere around there, 2 hours and 10 minutes. But there's definitely some stuff that they could have cut out just to make it, kind of flow a little bit better. Because there was some stuff I was like, that might not have, had to have been in there. So the movie was maybe just like a little too long. And by no means is, I'm not complaining about because it's like 2.5 hours just because of the length. Because I mean, I loved Endgame. I loved, Infinity War, things like that. Other movies that are like, 2.5 hours, 3 hours long. It's just that there was parts that dragged a little bit for me. But again, it wasn't anything that was like, oh my god, this is so boring. Because I have seen some people, that's been some of the complaints. I've seen some people saying like, oh, this movie was boring. There wasn't enough action. I mean, I will say there wasn't as many action pieces maybe as like the first film. But that wasn't something that bothered me actually. It's different than what I said in the beginning of the review. It's different than what I was kind of expecting, with the movie, with what they kind of presented in the trailers. But that isn't necessarily like a bad thing. There's, I would say, more like emotional bits. And you just find out, the reasoning behind some of these, these different characters and stuff like that. So I thought the story overall was pretty solid. If you're one of those people that really likes, a lot of action and stuff like that in your superhero films, then yeah, maybe this might not be a film for you because it doesn't have as many of those pieces. But overall, that wasn't something that, like I said, that bothered me. I thought that for the most part, the story was good. I really, enjoyed the characters, Wonder Woman, Cheetah, and Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord, and Chris Pine too as well. He did a good job coming back into this film. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was fun. Not quite as good as the original Wonder Woman. That's still definitely better for me, with the first 2 acts being better, and then right 1984, the third act just being a little bit better. But I think it's definitely worth checking out. Right now you can check it out on HBO Max. I was actually able to use a free trial because I got some like code when I bought like a movie from like Best Buy or whatever. So I got like a 2-week free trial for that. So I was able to check it out for free. It is in theaters right now too. I know like right now, just with like kind of things going on, I was like, this one, I wish I could have seen it in theaters because I think, anytime like any of like the superhero movies and stuff like that, it's definitely something you would prefer to see on the big screen. And I feel like some of the moments in this film, it would have benefited from seeing it on like a big screen. So that's probably, I guess, like another negative that's not really like necessarily the film's fault, but just that I wish I could have probably seen it like on a big screen. Even though I have like a 65-inch TV, it just wasn't the same. But overall, as far as the score goes, I'm going to give this a 7.8 out of 10. So it's not quite an 8, just like under there, but I do think it's still like a really solid film. It's something that I'm going to pick up when it comes out, but I'm really curious to hear what you guys think, because like I said, there is a lot of negativity, a lot of hate for this movie going out there right now. And I mean, some of it, if you guys didn't like it, you didn't like it, that's fair. But it just, like, to me, it seems like there's just like a lot of like unnecessary hate. I don't know. So I'm curious, if you guys didn't like it, definitely let me know why. I'm curious to see, why you think so. So let me know down below in the comments. Please no spoilers for the people who haven't seen it yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it, just so that way you get notifications for all my new videos. Also, hit the thumbs up on this video just to support it. Really helps my channel where we're smaller and just the YouTube algorithm overall. And guys, I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday. If you don't celebrate the holidays, I just hope you had a good day off from work and you're enjoying, this weekend. And yeah, so just, and also let me know what did you guys get for Christmas? Let me know down below in the comments as always. But thank you guys for, for checking out this review. And as always, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.